Morning, hi. This is Travis from the National Weather Service, and this is your weather hazard briefing for Sunday, September 1st. Looking at the current water vapor satellite imagery, you can see we have dry air moving over our area. It's going to move in southwest flow. We're kind of a high pressure ridge here, and we have a southwest flow dictated by this low here. I'll show you that. This is a little bit easier. We have the 500 millibar heights. We have the high pressure ridging over us. You can see that this has the red as the darker, drier air that's moving over us, and this low is kind of pushing this ridge a little bit to the east, and that's also creating a southwest flow, breezy to moderate winds, and I'll show you that here in a minute. As of note, also here is Hurricane Dorian off the coast of Florida, and I'll show you that track as far as the Hurricane Center and the projections. Looking at the GFS short-term model, here's the high-pressure ridge. It gets pushed east by that low. You can see the dry air move in, the red, and we have the gradient here tightens. These are the 500 millibar heights, and it also on Monday that tightens, so it continued really breezy, and also breezy conditions on Tuesday. There's a little bit of change. This is kind of a delayed as far as the low moving over, and then it's now Wednesday instead of Tuesday with the ridge building in, and you can start to see some moisture that will approach us on Thursday. Looking at the surface map, you can see high pressure dominant on the surface, really, and then we have this boundary off to our west, and that's going to create that tight pressure gradient, which is going to increase the winds, particularly this afternoon into early evening. As far as our max temperatures, it's going to get quite warm under high pressure ridging over. It's going to be the hottest under that ridge axis, and then also the really dry air is going to contribute to that. So you can see record temperatures, and you can see here's the actual records for each of these areas, our climate sites, and this is the forecasted up above. And of course, that's going to create a heat risk today. Just be aware if you're out doing strenuous activities. And then as far as our min-RH, it is very dry, below the 15% critical values. And then our wind gusts are in the, you can see, well in the 30s in the ridge tops of Central Mountains, and approaching 30 for the Arco Desert. And then the ridge lines are 25 elsewhere, particularly for 413. And these correspond to where we have our red flag for high winds and low RH. And then the Hain Index did play a little bit into this. These areas you notice were not as windy as you look at the wind gusts across our southeast area, but they are certainly really dry. It's certainly going to be really hot, and the Hain Index is a 6. So we went ahead and put the red flag warning out to include these areas as well. As you look on to Monday, we have that boundary that did kind of split on us a little bit. You can saw the low didn't really actually move through late Tuesday, but there is some energy that's kind of moving through, and that's going to create those really stronger winds. And then the temperatures do back down just a little bit, but they're still above normal, not 5 to 10 degrees, not hitting records on Monday. But here's our min-RH, still well below the 15%, although it is a little slightly better, 2 to 5% increase, a little bit higher increase in our northern areas. You can see the wind gusts are stronger. So pretty much a slam dunk for winds across the area. And then with the RHs, I think the only zone that might be questionable is that 427, but it still will be breezy at the ridge tops. And then so we do have a red flag out for for Monday as well, and that pretty much includes all zones with the exception of 475, and that's because the min-RH is a little bit higher. Just above the critical values. As we go into Tuesday, you can see that boundary really does move through, and the temperatures do respond for that. It's dry, so we're not looking at any precip, but they're still above normal, but they're better than the last 2 days. And then our min-RH does recover even a couple more percent, but still below critical values in some areas. So we may need a red flag. You see that some areas are starting to approach, but although right now it looks okay, but there are some areas that are approaching those ridge tops of 25. I think the models will catch up and pick those winds up a little bit potentially. So here's our long term. Here's the ridging that builds in on Wednesday. It will warm up slightly, and then we have our moisture starting to move in. You can see the precip starts Thursday with that boundary moving through Thursday into early Friday morning, and then the ridging over the weekend, particularly Saturday, and then there's a chance of a low moving over us Sunday into Monday. And right now this one is a pretty wet solution that we've not quite seen that. It's been holding a little farther north. So if you have any questions, give us a call at this number. Thank you.